Are you just smitten with the beauty of vintage china? Well, if you are, today's your day on Seeing Beauty with Sandy, because today we're talking about the beauty of vintage china. Now, what do I mean when I say vintage china? Well, to me it's just pretty dishes, and I have always loved them. Back in the day, it was an important thing for a girl to have some china in her hope chest. And if you don't know what a hope chest is, the name ought to give it away. It's a box where you keep things where you hope to use when you hope you meet Mr. Wonderful one day and get married. So my mother collected this china for me for my hope chest when I was in high school. And you know how she got it? Well, gas stations. Now, I don't mean convenience stores with gas pumps. I mean gas stations. Back in the day, they sold gas, they washed your windshield, they checked your radiator, they pumped your gas, and to get business, they would have promotions. Like this one, my mother would buy 8 gallons of gas and they would give her a free place setting of this china. But when the time came that I actually got engaged, and my husband-to-be, who's my husband Rick, went with me to the jewelry store, and we were going to select good china and our fine china. And so we did. We selected this. And although it's still in production today, and so what I'm holding here is not vintage, this pattern made its debut in 1918, and we just loved it. We were so looking forward to getting lots of it for our wedding presents. We got 1 plate, but we were not dismayed. We just started collecting it, a piece here and a piece there, because we wanted it to be our china that we could use to make memories with friends and family. And actually, I think it was kind of a romantic thing to do. And we've done it all along, and we enjoy using it so much. Now, if you've just started to collect vintage china or to poke around and see what you can find, you'll find you learn as you go. You'll learn and find out which pieces are porcelain, which might be bone china, which are decorated with decals, and which are transferware, which is a different process. Or you might fall in love with chintzware, which I think is a particularly beautiful one when you know enough about the process to know how hard it is to make. So we can do these wonderful decorative things with plates, hang them on the wall, which I love to do, or get a little easel, put them on a table. They're so pretty as a backdrop for something in front of it. And of course, we look at them and say, wouldn't they be wonderful to eat on? But it's important to know, if you're thinking about collecting vintage china to eat on, that anything below that was made earlier, below 1970, may have a little problem leaking lead into food. So you want to look into that and do a little research before you commit to a whole set of vintage china that you wouldn't be able to use for that purpose. But still, it is so beautiful. If you went to the store and bought a box of a full set of china, on the outside of the box it might say service for 8. Think about that word, service. That's what dishes are for. They are to serve others. They're really a tool for our hospitality. The Bible says that we should serve one another with love. And you know, there are many ways to serve people, but one of my favorite is to offer them hospitality. Whether you use pretty plates or paper plates, it really doesn't matter what you use. The important thing is to serve one another and to offer hospitality with an open heart and with love. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about hospitality, I invite you to watch my video, The Beauty of Hospitality, at Seeing Beauty with Sandy at YouTube. So, until next week, keep collecting those pretty dishes, and I'll see you then.